So, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
Let's do it!
Woo! Woo! Yeah, Coach is fired up because he just had an amazing speaking event today.
I did.
Literally next door to my studio.
So close.
Hope Center.
I'm so tired.
You cried 8 times.
I thought it was 7. Who was counting?
So, and then you were like, hey, let's go cannonball. I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I needed to.
Here we are, sir.
Yeah, we're doing this thing. Doing it.
So,
Man, can you believe that is already the second one of those that we've done, those leadership conferences?
Yeah. So tell the audience a little bit of what it's about.
Man, it's pretty cool. So for those of you that follow, and y'all know that I'm a part of the Hope Center, which is mentorship for kids. I've had some rare opportunities. Pretty cool, man. I've been able to go over and speak at 2 of these events, and we have more coming. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really good for the kids.
So great community leaders do some like keynote speaking, like 5.
Yeah.
Break for lunch, and then the closer.
Yeah.
The big shebang is Mr. Coach Camp talking to a panel of these amazing youth leaders. And you ask them questions like, what do you feel is the best way you can influence somebody?
Yeah.
Explain to me what a leader looks like to you, stuff like that.
That one kid that said opposite of you. I'm like, bro. I'm like, now we're doing the opposite effect. Oh, I got you.
So it's great. It's good stuff. So today we did Hernando right here. So I mean, it's at 1 Memphis, and it's literally behind my studio. We had our mayor. We had
Tina
Tatum, who's an amazing business owner and just pillar of the community.
Eric Ballantyne.
Yeah, so Eric Ballantyne's an executive director for...
He does something with Street Ministries.
Yeah, Street Ministries. We were supposed to have our sheriff, who did the first one in South Haven, but he couldn't make it today, so he had a captain and sergeant come in.
Yeah.
And the captain was cool.
Yeah.
He made it very clear. It wasn't his thing.
Not his thing.
He spoke for 2 minutes, but then the sergeant came up.
Thunderous.
Yeah.
Thunderous.
He was great.
Very good. You know, it's one thing to be in a lineup with great speakers.
Yeah.
It's another thing to go last. So, as I Stacey, what are we doing, man? You got all these great speakers, and then you have the kids, which are great.
Yeah.
It's just like, I've got to do this thing. And then everybody's like, well, I say everybody, so let's be very specific. And I was told today, by the way, I can only say these names never again. So Alicia Camp and Maddie Camp, they were in the audience, and they're like, don't be screaming. I'm like, what's screaming? Don't be screaming. I don't scream.
Even I said this, right?
You did.
I've warned him, like, fire. Maybe not top-notch white heat fire.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a nice campfire.
It was a rumble.
And I feel like you did that.
Thank you.
You know, I mean, the voice level got up.
Yeah.
But it was short and punchy.
Yeah. I was trying not to go into the mic as well.
Yeah.
I did that apparently. You know, recently I did a graduation. I emceed a graduation.
Yeah.
Apparently I was really close to the mic and I was loud at
Did
times.
you blow that place up?
Sometimes. Yeah. We were outside. I thought.
So what were you doing for his wedding? Were you just emceeing
so
it?
Many people. Well, so it was a graduation.
Oh,
some people think of that as a wedding as well. No, it's so it was actually
Chuck Cole is the man we're talking about.
Yeah, he's been on the show.
The Motivate with Coach Camp Monday podcast. Go check him out.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
So he invites you to MC this graduation party.
Yeah, so it was not like a formal high school. It was like all of their friends that are They have friends that are seniors because he has a daughter that's senior, and they were from all across DeSoto County. So it was like kids. It was like 27.
Where was that?
It was at his property.
Which is where?
Horn
Lake
it's in Hernando.
Oh, he's in Hernando too.
It's funny because at the end, this dude, he did it up. He had stage lights, the whole thing, had food for everybody, and then he did fireworks. Nice. And then, like I see on Hernando Happenings, did somebody hear some big booms coming from down?
Oh, it's like I saw those posts. I see
explosions. There's explosions. Are we under attack? It's like, no, just a graduation celebration.
I saw those posts. And that was you guys. That's hilarious.
Chuck called that one.
I love that. Yeah. Did you guys hear some bangs?
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean,
no bangs over here.
What was that? Maybe fireworks. I live right next to the high school, and the first time I was like, "Oh my God, what's going on out there?"
Yeah.
Well, they light fireworks at the baseball games.
They do.
Stuff, you know. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. I don't know how I did. I started out the very first kid that I called. I called him a her, and I thought it was a girl. And then the entire student group was like, "It's a boy," and I'm like, It's 2024, y'all. Let's just get over that. All right. So yes, it was a guy, and I messed that one up straight out the box. Well, what I figure is if you lower the bar,
then there's only place to go up.
You got nowhere to go but up.
That's it.
I think I even said that.
And even if now you're mediocre, it looks great.
Exactly. I'm like, now I showed y'all how bad it could be. Let me see if I can just do it. Just a click better. It says all.
So let me ask you this. Do you think when I graduated high school, they pronounced my last name correctly?
Where did you graduate from?
Sanford, Maine.
Yes.
No.
Oh, they didn't.
McCod.
Well, just to be fair,
It's
there was
Michaud, by the way.
And so what did they say?
McCod.
They said McCod.
McCod.
Oh.
It's either Michaud or McCod or Machoud. They land that D.
Yeah.
At the end of it.
Wonder why I went with show.
Huh? Well,
See, isn't it Mary? It's Derrick Michaud, but I was saying Derrick Michaud.
No, you got it flipped. You were saying Michaud, and then
the show? Man, I swear.
Michaud.
It's too many circles.
Hey, we derail. We're squirrels.
It's fine.
That's what the show is all about.
I feel good about it though.
Would you like to know what Michaud means?
Sure.
I can give you a tiny little French lesson.
How do you know these things?
My eighth grade. I am actually. I'm legitimately from a bilingual French family.
You're very white.
We're pasty up there.
You're pasty.
My grandparents' generation level, Frenchy, French. Then my mom and her brothers and sister, their first baby words, those first words coming out was French.
Ooh la la.
And then my grandparents like, no, you guys got to go to school, and then they pushed the English on them, and they all could understand French. My mom could understand everything her parents were saying, and aunts and uncles.
Could she speak it?
She could, but she never really did a whole lot. So growing up, I heard French coming from Meme, which is my grandmother, coming to my left side, French.
Bonjour.
And my mom responding in English.
How about that? My mom and dad spoke Pig Latin. Is that the same?
I'm trying to think of something funny said in Pig Latin.
Yeah. Oink. It comes to me. It just comes to me.
Oink thee.
Oink thee. Yes. Hear ye.
So Michaud. All right. So French for hot is chaud. C-H-A-U-D.
Okay.
Like il chaud. I-L space C-H-A-U-D. Il chaud means it's hot.
Okay.
And then the prefix mi.
Yeah.
Whatever word comes after it is cut in half in value in a way. Like French and Spanish, there's genders. Like there's effeminate, not effeminate.
Sure. That's Derrick.
A feminine way to say car and a masculine way to say car. Loto, Loto or Lo-Auto. I mean,
is it about the pitch?
No, there's La Car and Loto, right?
Oh.
And one's masculine, one's feminine. Weird.
Do you have to change your tone? Le car.
Probably.
Okay.
That might work.
I'm trying to figure it out.
So French has value too. The words like, so mi splits hot into half, which means warm.
Yeah, you are warm.
So the direct translation is half hot.
Watch your mouth.
But I'm warm.
Yeah.
So I'm Derrick Warm from now on.
Well, you know, Goldilocks, that was her favorite. She didn't want it too hot. She didn't want it too cold.
Warm.
Typical woman.
Warm is good.
Typical woman.
You know?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I really honestly didn't know. My name probably means something. It's just, I go with
camp.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure it's deep and
people want to go to sleep.
Come from old Europe.
Time to go camping. Well, I don't know. Look, so since you said all those words that had a lot of words in it, and then it was like French. Did I ever tell you about the time I went to Mexico and we got lost?
No.
Yeah, it's a quick story on that one.
Sure.
So we're down there.
That's first off, I should say, very scary place to get lost in.
It could be if I was personally lost, but I was in a taxi cab.
So your driver's lost. All right, tell the story.
Well, the driver's lost because I don't know how to speak Spanish.
Right.
I got dos cerveza por favor, donde es baño, which is probably jacking that up. And then it's like, I don't know. There's a couple other things.
Was this before Google Translate on your phone?
Oh yeah, this is like 2004.
Yeah, so
they didn't have no iPhone back then. If they did, I didn't know. I couldn't own them. They was out of my league.
I had the flip phone with Tetris.
Oh, nice. I did play some Tetris and Minesweeper.
I didn't have that.
Well, I was high tech. But so we're down there, and I want to go because I'm a firefighter, and it's customary to go see other fire departments. So I'm in Mexico. So we get in a taxi, and I don't know how to say, take me to the firefighter. Now I've learned it's bomberos. So I've learned that. Didn't know it at the time, which would have been very helpful. And so I tell the guy, I'm like, I'm trying to act it out. Charades in Spanish is what I'm thinking. So I'm like, woo, 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 muy caliente, muy, so like very hot, muy, muy. I kept saying that, and then I noticed that whenever a Spanish person, Mexican guy, when one eyebrow goes up, they are at a loss of words.
Yeah.
And so he just started driving, and I got 3 people in a taxi with me, and we're just driving. And now we drive for a long time, like 20 minutes, and then we pull up to a bus station. And it was not a fire station at all, because when I was saying fire station with a little bit of Southern drawl, it translated in Spanish as bus station. And we were like 20 minutes into the middle of town.
It was a station.
It was a station. And like the tab was like $40 at this point. I'm like, this ain't where we need to be, y'all. And so then we had to turn around. And it turns out the fire station was 1 block over.
Oh, you didn't think to ask someone, hey, can you help translate? I mean, there might have been someone nearby.
Most everybody was just drunk people from America. I was in Cancun. So they didn't speak anything. Do you know I mean, not Spanish, but do you know Southern?
I'm learning it more and more. I say y'all and fixing to.
What about fitna?
Fitna? No, that's like extra level.
That's next level.
That's fixing to.
About to do something.
But country. It's
fitna. Getting in there. What about yonder?
I'm fitting to do it.
Hankering?
No, but I'll tell you, my first 2 weeks, first month living in Nashville, straight from Maine, 2005. I'm walking and I'm waiting tables at an Applebee's.
You did that?
And
I bus tables at an Applebee's.
I was a level above you.
You were.
Of course.
You were a step ahead.
And I'm just dragging my feet through the bar area, just blah, slow and everything. And the lady behind me was, will you quit? Oh, no, how did she say it? Will you quit that lollygagging? And I was like, what?
Yeah.
So then I learned lollygagging.
What'd you call my mama? Yeah.
Lollygagging. So that came early. And some people that move from the north, you can hear their accent thick, always. Like it never changes. I by no means have a southern accent, but you should have heard me now 17, 18, 19, working on 19 years ago before I moved. It was wicked bad, dude.
It was wicked bad. If you went to the bar, was it bar?
Oh, yeah. We would drive drunk in the car, go to the bar and drink some beer.
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
Anyways.
Yeah.
I was the opposite.
Okay.
Like, I wanted to say y'all almost immediately, but for some reason I kept fighting it.
Oh, you felt like an imposter.
It was just, I'd go to a table to say hello and would you like some drinks? And normally it's, hey guys, how you doing? Hey guys, how you doing?
How'd you doing?
And then I had this moment where my mind wanted to say y'all, and I would kind of correct mid-word and y'all guys, how you doing?
Oh wow, it's a blend.
And finally, I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Just give in.
Have that talk.
And within a month, I'm saying y'all.
Wow.
But infiltrated me.
I tell you what, you're doing a great job.
Thanks.
Keep it up. I don't think you should change anything.
Thanks, y'all.
Keep that thing up. So look, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have...
Did I derail you, by the way? Did you have more to that story?
I don't even know what we were talking about.
You asked me if I knew Southern.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
That's fine. So I think we got everything out of the way. Yeah, I think all of it started with Machoud. Knick-knack, paddywhack. Yeah, and my speaking on the thing, the MCing, by the way, which was really cool. I've done some MC events, like I've done an award ceremony, and I got to tell you, it was really good. It was really good. I mean, like aside from me basically blowing out the speakers during that moment, because I get passionate.
Are you talking about today?
No, that's every time. But no, I'm talking about the MC event. Because that's where we started with all this. But in the end, there were like 3 kids that came up to me before. So I think about you when you're talking about the Machu. They came up to me before it started and gave me the proper pronunciation of their name. Now, smart people, and I'm not saying that's me. A smart person writes it out in phonetic style, and like where you could say it and see it. But I'm like, I remember that.
No.
I did not remember that.
Nope.
So when all 3 of those names came up, I remembered that I would say it wrong by looking at it. And so I did what Chris Camp would do, and that is step away from the mic, walk over to the edge of the stage, and I would holler down, McClanahan, how you say your name again? And then they would holler back, and I'd go back, and Brandon McClendon, come on up. And I'm like, so, I mean, I don't know if that's the real name, but it's like, I just, hard pause, how you say your name again? Come on, you know how to say it. Thank you. And then I go right back to it.
Yeah, I mean,
just own the moment.
My high school butchered mine.
Yeah. Would you have felt good if they'd have went to the side of the stage, but Derrick, Mr. D-Rec. D-Rec, can you tell me?
Yeah, D-Rec.
Yeah.
So I have another funny last name thing. So
Okay.
we've discussed how everyone hits the consonants, machow. Like they really stick the landing on those.
They don't want to do dooba dooba dooba.
I wish I had that sound.
I know.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
It happens.
No iPad, no dooba 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 sound. So there's been a few occasions where the person goes in a completely different direction, the other direction, where the only consonant they pronounce is the M.
Oh.
And it's mind-boggling to me. I'm just like, whoa. Do they see it as, oh, this looks like a French word, maybe like a Louisiana word, where they feel like they need. So I'm in court.
That makes sense.
Reasons for another day, that story.
That one's not on this one.
So I'm sitting there with my lawyer, and the person's doing roll call. Like she's calling out attorneys and versus this person and blah, 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 blah. And attorneys are standing up. Yeah, you know how it works. So,
yeah.
So she next, and she goes, Derrick, and then I see her pause.
Oh.
I see it like a legit pause, and I can hear the wheels in her brain.
You should have started a drum roll.
Turning, and she's like looking at it, and then she goes, Mija.
Did that hurt?
Loudly. And it was like almost like ended with that question mark, like where the word kind of flips up. Yeah. Derrick, Mija?
Huh?
And I just, hey, right here.
You could have been like, is that person in trouble? Because if that person's in trouble, then that person probably ain't here.
Yeah. Or I don't catch it, and they're like, oh, he's not here, in contempt. No, I wouldn't have been in contempt, but I wasn't in there for those reasons.
Did her facial expression change while she said it? That would have been awesome. But
no.
Mija. Oh, that's a lot of time on Mashad. I like that, though. It's fun times. That's good times. Well, at least you know how to take it in stride. What's bad is I've actually had camp jacked up several times. People call
How is that possible?
They say champ. I've heard chimp. I've heard chump. And I don't know if it's intentional.
Is there a C in that word? I mean, an H. Is there an H in that word?
Only in Chris. That's the first part of the, and then it goes to camp.
But camp.
I know, right? I know. And they jack it up. They've done it several times.
I think chimp is funny.
Yeah, well, people probably did it on purpose. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Coach Chimp.
Oh, wow. That would be different. Ooh, I wouldn't have been able to go with Coach Chimp then. If I had a bad last name, because I don't think Camp's a bad last name. I think it kind of flows.
Yeah.
But if it was like Chimp or Chump, oh, that's going to be horrible. Yeah. There's bad names out there sometimes. It could be tough. It could be tough. It'd be like, oh, dude, Coach Chump, here we go. What you going to do?
Like, Coach, I do not tell a lie. This is absolutely for real. Years ago, my cousin showed me this badge. He worked at a warehouse, and they all had badges with their face and name on it. Mm-hmm. Usually how badges work, right?
Right. I've seen that.
And he had told me that he worked with this guy, and then he by chance found this guy's badge on the floor and didn't return it.
Oh.
So he could show.
Kind of like a fake ID.
He could show everyone this man's name and actually spelt the right way.
I like it.
Harold Butts. Hilarious. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like, you're forced with Butts.
Mm-hmm. But
the parents had a decision to make for name that is before it.
Right.
And you went with Harry?
At least you didn't go with Big.
White Butts. No, I mean, Harry Butts was his name.
You know, Dick Butkus comes to mind. I think about his mom and dad is like, we got Butkus. Let's name him Dick. Let's go with that one. It's great job, Mom and Dad.
I got another one. Years ago, I worked in a radio station, and one of the main newscasters was Dick Johnson.
Oh boy.
You know, a little redundant, but gets the point across.
I think it does. More trueness, a lot of truthiness coming out today. So we didn't even swear in, but I feel like that's what we should have done because everything's truth. My driver's ed teacher at Horn Lake, which people out there, and I'm going to name drop this because it's not a secret. His name, but he went by Richard.
Okay.
His last name was Head.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. That's rough. I can't make these things up.
I mean, were the parents that just oblivious and naive?
I never got to meet the parents. But boy, did we meet the...
That's a good movie, Meet the Parents.
Oh, that is a pretty good movie. That is a good one. I got a question for you. Have you ever had a thought and said, this is a great idea, and then like you're all in and you just go after it. And then when that idea becomes a reality, you're like, well, this was dumb.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. I figured you immediately, if I were you, I'd have led with, you're here, aren't you?
Yeah, right. So but I mean, you need like 10 of those to finally hit a really good one.
Sometimes you do need several.
So I'm guessing you have a story about a dumb decision you made.
Yeah, it turns out I'm learning this every day of my life. You know, we'll backtrack 16 years ago.
Okay.
16 years ago, I had this thought. It'd be great to have this beautiful house in the country.
Oh, yeah. I know where you're going.
On some acreage. And I could be a farmer. All these ideas. Well, we hit a hard pause in life. And I was in my 30s at the time.
Yeah.
We hit a long, hard pause where we took 10 years.
Yep.
10 years of saving and doing stuff. And then the dream starts to come true. Nice.
Straight from the heavens.
And there we are. Our big, beautiful house. 8 acres of land in the country. And I said, you know what else would be cool? Because I feel like I could be a country boy now. I bought cowboy boots. That wasn't a part of the bad part of the story. Cowboy boots are pretty comfortable.
Yeah, pretty nice.
I bought them. But then I'm like, we need animals. Yes. So we acquire horses, and we got some sheep, and then we got chickens and dogs and cats, and we had this farm.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And then I'm like, I'm going to get some bees, and I'm going to be a honey producer.
You are Ronald McDonald.
And I'm going to have eggs and do meat chickens, and this is going to be amazing.
And then
I'm an idiot. And now you can hit the
I don't have it.
Oh, dang. Well, I'm doing it for you. All of a sudden.
But at night, it must be beautiful and just... Is it soothing at night? Just
sometimes. Last night I saw the Aurora Borealis from our property because we have no lights out there.
So you got the star, the
streams and stuff. You know, did you know this?
I didn't even know.
I got pictures. I'll share it with you. You can tell everybody you took them. It's fine.
So anyway, so you have your dream home.
Yes.
Your dream Ponderosa.
The Ponderosa.
You get your farm animals. You're hanging out.
Got a cow. And I'm like, now we're going to raise some livestock. This is going to be fun. Bull crap. All that is work. Everything's crapping everywhere. I'm constantly having to change pens, go and get food, water. In the wintertime, everything freezes. And I'm like, I've got kids. They'll help.
Nope.
Bull crap again. They don't help. So here I am. I'm 50 years old. I got all these dang animals. So you know what I'm doing? I'm letting them die. As not like killing them. I'm not doing like Kristi Noem stuff.
Not like euthanasia.
Not the governor of South Dakota. No, I'm just like, as they pass on, which we've had them for some years now.
You're still going to feed them.
Oh, I take good care of them.
Of course.
But as they go, I don't replenish.
Yeah.
I don't replenish. Now, we do have wild stuff that happens. Like we've had wild dogs attack our sheep, and we've had things happen, but...
your chickens.
My chickens got attacked by raccoons.
So do you have chickens?
I still have 8.
So next time a raccoon ransacks...
I may keep a few because I do like the eggs. I do like the eggs.
So even if the Rocky raccoon, wipes all 8 out, then you might get 3.
Something like that, yeah.
So
that's fine. That's not a big deal. But as the horses pass on, I've got 1 horse now.
Yeah.
The cow's going to outlive me. So that ain't going anywhere. But I was just like, man, what a bad idea. All this was work. Now, what comes along with that, though, is observation, life skills, and the realization that commercials are stupid. So, do you have any animals?
I have a guinea pig.
Really?
Yep.
Is it me?
It was you.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you are. The story goes,
quipping.
I brought you in and be my guinea pig coach, and let's make some content and start tuning this studio up. So yeah, you were my guinea pig.
Yeah.
But my daughter has a real one.
Okay. What's his name?
Phoenix.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
I have nowhere to go with that other than that's just cool.
And I just have to worry about bedding, hard food, and grass or hay, whatever.
Yeah. So what I'm telling you is this. I don't know where you got the idea for a guinea pig, but the commercials lie. They tell lies, and we have an Australian Shepherd. By the way, that was another part of my dream, was I was going to get an Australian Shepherd. We were going to get all these cattle. I was going to herd them up. I was going to have cowboy boots on, a hat.
Were you learning how to lasso?
Sleeveless shirts.
Were you getting ready with the lasso?
I hadn't got that far yet, but it was in my thoughts. Maybe that needed to happen. So I was like,
what are the things that go on the back of the boots?
Spurs.
Yeah. And you go, ha-ya, ha-ya.
Yeah. But I was mostly just having poop on the back of my boots. But nevertheless, I was just like, I wanted this idea of country world to be real for me.
Did you get leather chaps?
But I had those before.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah, that's all right. My mom listens now, so we got to be careful. So I have this Australian Shepherd, and if you don't know anything about Australian Shepherds, they're crazy.
Yeah,
they're like buck wild.
But they're wired to be that way.
Wired to be crazy.
Yeah, but smart.
They are smart. Too smart for his own good sometimes.
Right.
But here's where the commercial lie comes into play. So I'm watching this commercial the other day, and people, this is not a knock on people that love their dogs and want to treat them a certain way. Do that. Do what makes you happy. That's fine. But I see this commercial, and they're like getting this expensive dog food that they keep in the refrigerator, and they're cutting it open, and then in the commercial, the person talks bad about the dog in the refrigerator, and then next thing you know, the person's walking out the door. And all I can think about in that moment is I have an Australian Shepherd that today I have seen him drinking sewer water, eating horse crap, and can run 35 miles an hour. I will put my dog that eats farm products against your dog any day of the week, baby.
Yeah, to hell with pedigree food.
Pedigree means nothing. Feed them some livestock poop.
I've seen dogs eat poop. It's crazy.
They enjoy it. It seems like he enjoys
That's
it.
so
He goes so
weird.
fast. I don't know if that's part of it.
Yet,
I thought about eating some, see if I could run quicker.
Yeah, I'm absolutely on board with letting my dog kiss my face, and I've never had an issy with that. But they eat poo poo.
They eat that. They lick stuff. It's weird. But anyways, the long story to the farm life, the bad decisions comes down to I have an Australian Shepherd that disproves that expensive dog food works for anything other than you just feel good about feeding it to him, because my dog eats reproduced products all the time.
You don't have to buy dog food.
Well, no, but the horse feed's expensive.
So, do you remember when I hooked you up with a lady that gave you chickens?
Yes.
Well, she's in my BNI. Which is Business Network International.
Tell her chickens are doing great.
So we're having our chapter meeting. What you do is you stand up and you pitch your business for 60 seconds. You get a little commercial in the hopes that you build referral relationships with the other industries in your chapter and everyone becomes friends. Well, this lady, she chose to not do about her business. She just said, hey, I'm looking to give up some chickens. I'm like, okay. And blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you know what? I bet Coach would want those chickens.
Yeah, that's back in
So
my
I told
days.
her, I was like, hey, I know someone that will want those chickens. Okay. So I connect you all. You go get the chickens. And was it a week later before they were wiped out?
It wasn't long after.
Yeah, I remember you telling me they're all killed. And I didn't have the heart to tell her.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
I told
she probably had them named.
I told some of the other guys, I'm like, you remember when Bonnie, I hooked her up with the person to give those chickens to? They're like, yeah. I'm like, a raccoon killed all of them in one night. They're like, oh my God.
We play taps for them, if that helps.
So I didn't have the heart to tell her.
I know, man. It's a rough go sometimes being a chicken when everything thinks you're delicious. Like everything. It's well, like an animal that's usually a herbivore. It's like, these plants are good, but I bet that chicken tastes pretty good too.
Hey, raccoon, can you hand me over the wings?
I know,
please?
right? So it's, I don't want to be a chicken if I come, it's that whole thing of if you believe coming back, I don't. But anyways. Hey, look, did I ever tell you, there's a story that I probably didn't share with you. You know, I've been teaching for a while.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So one of the things about teaching is you're pretty vulnerable. You're in front of the classroom.
Not bad.
You've got to be confident in the material you're presenting, and you got to try to stay focused. That's hard for me. I don't know if you ever noticed that. Have you been around me?
What?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I am struggling some days when I'm in there trying to stay focused on the material and then go through this was back before I was at the college. I was teaching at the Fire Academy, and I don't think I ever shared this with you. The pre-story to this is, do you know these teeth? You see them? Yeah. They're all fake. They're all caps. These are caps.
Did you break your teeth?
I've had them knocked out a lot of ways. Bike wrecks. Once time I tried to catch a Frisbee in my mouth when I was like 9. Turns out it's not like a dog. I saw the dog doing it. I'm like, that can't be that hard. Seriously.
I wish I could see that.
And the Frisbees back in the day, that was made out of metal.
Did you jump up like a penguin?
I don't remember what I looked like, if I was a fish or something, but I was just like
a dolphin.
They're flicking it. Now, what's interesting about that night is somebody found out, and probably because I told people, and I was probably actually like 12. I was older than 9. I was probably like 12.
Right.
That I had done this. And then I heard there used to be a thing on a radio station at night. And back in our day, we didn't have a lot. We had a radio station. You could call in and flush a person. So it was like flushing a person, and they would talk about your dumbness. And then they would do like a toilet flush thing. Somebody flushed me.
Okay.
They flushed me because I had my tooth knocked out from a Frisbee.
It's like the Gong Show.
I was like, that's horrible, but that's funny at the same time. So I've had these rearranged many times, bike wrecks, whatever. And the the caps are usually pretty good.
Uh-huh.
Well, one day I'm teaching, and this just goes to the testament of the show must go on. That's why I'm sharing all this.
Uh-huh.
That's why I need you to understand what kind of person I am. So if this type of thing happens on this show while we're taping,
Love it.
I'm still going. I'm not stopping.
Uh-huh.
The cameras keep rolling.
Of course.
I'm in front of the class, which it was at the fire academy. So it's a pretty large group of people as a whole, maybe 50. And I'm talking and I'm in front of everybody. And right before I went in, I had a straw that I had been chewing on. You ever chew on straw?
Oh, always.
Chew on straw.
I used to, yeah.
Yeah, it's chewing on straw. And I thought I heard a whenever I was chewing on the straw. I'm like, couldn't have been anything because it's a straw. It's not hard. It's not crunchy. It's weird. I go in and I'm in full tilt teaching. And I don't know if you know this either about me, but I get passionate.
Yes.
So not necessarily in teaching mode will I go so high, but emphasizing.
You don't go full fire.
Not full fire, but I'm like emphasizing.
Yeah.
You know there's a rumble in there, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like getting after it. And then all of a sudden I see my tooth fly up into the air. And everybody stops. It's like slow motion. And then it goes ka-tink on the table and then flies off on the other side. It was very impressive.
That is impressive.
I got some distance.
That is.
So you would say, well, what did you do? So I just have to acknowledge it because I realize everybody on the first 5 rows saw that happen. Nobody didn't see that happen because I command the attention a lot of times of a crowd.
Yeah.
And when I was like, and that's my tooth. And right over here, now you will see the respiratory system. And I just kept rolling everybody. And then finally somebody couldn't take it anymore. And they're like, Mr. Camp, did your tooth come out?
Which tooth was it? Right,
It was my front tooth.
Right, one of the front ones.
I look like Dumb and Dumber guy. You know, Jim Carrey.
So it flies out and it's completely open. How do the caps work? What is it? Do you have like a little stub in there that you mold the cap
Well,
to?
no, the original tooth that was all jacked. So the cap goes over the top of that. So
Right.
it's like a veneer almost.
So then you had like a little sharp tooth in that space. That must have looked
I could cut through
hilarious.
some teeth or something. It's like,
So just take it back in and
yeah, they had
get
to put a new cap on. It's very
cap.
expensive. Veneers are not cheap.
My mom has veneers, but they look great. Did you get the tooth and keep it?
Man, I don't know. I should.
You should have tried to put it back in yourself.
Well, you'd have had super glue, but I should have put it on a necklace. That'd have been cool. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. But I saw that in my notes, and I'm like, I don't think I've ever shared that moment with you.
So these random notes you put down just as topics that we could talk about.
It's really like I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'm having a weird dream, and I'm like, oh,
which I love.
That happened.
I love because I come into this having no idea the hell we're going to talk about.
And I don't either a lot of times. I mean, look, if you look at this, you can see, folks, that is scribble.
Yeah.
That is nothing but
that
scribble.
is your brain.
That is what's going on up there. There's no lie about that. Hey, you got a daughter.
Yes.
Is she high maintenance?
You know what? Her name is Skylar. She doesn't want to be mentioned either.
Oh, well, I will never mention Skylar's name. Yeah, I wouldn't.
And she really hates her middle name. It's Glenn.
Oh, Skylar Glenn. SG.
SG. Yeah. SGM.
SGM.
Skylar Glenn Michaud. She hates. I don't know why. Such a beautiful middle name. Glenn.
You should write a song with your bass because you play the bass.
I do play the bass.
Skylar, Grace Michaud. Skylar, Grace Michaud. I don't know. That was my bass moment. You gotta do your fingers.
Man,
you gotta do your fingers.
I mean, damn, dude.
I know, boy.
Spur of the moment.
Look, I don't know what's happening.
I couldn't do it any better than that.
We were just over at the leadership thing, and I dropped on several people that I know how to rap.
Yeah, and
it's like,
it's always the same look, huh?
Yeah, I know. Me too. I do the same thing when I look in the mirror. So you have a girl. Obviously, she 15?
Yes.
And is she high maintenance of any kind?
No.
Does she like going to concerts?
I took her to see Metallica, and she was.
Oh, that's right, St. Louis.
She was really into that, but she's not like. Well, she has asked to go see Chemical Romance, and she wants to see Adele and Billie Eilish, and so would I like to watch all that stuff.
Sure.
But I told her Metallica was so expensive. It was a 4-night trip, 2 tickets, blah 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 blah. I'm like, I spent my concert budget for the next 5 years.
Is that her first? Was that her first real big concert?
Yeah, big concert.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Has she come watch you?
She hasn't seen me play as much as I would like.
Okay.
Often it's a place where it's 21 and up, right? So,
that makes
there's
sense.
that.
Yeah.
But this Tina Turner tribute band I'm in, she had an opportunity in May, and she was like, I'm tired. Okay, so she stayed home, and then now I got one coming up in June. I'm like, come on, baby, you got to go to this one. So she wants to.
I'll plan on being there at that one. Well, you know, and we'll make sure.
But she's very chill. In fact, you know, sleeps too much. You know, she's very laid back.
I think that's the generation. My daughter's all the time tired.
Oh yeah,
always sleeping.
And I feel like I fail as a parent because I'm like, okay, well maybe I should make you, you know, pick up brunch, you know, go in the woods and work. And I don't know, like there was that generation where there was no sleeping past 5 a.m.
Sure.
Even on a Saturday. No, you get your ass butt out the door. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But meanwhile, I'm chilling just as much. So me and my daughter are very laid back, chill, kind of quiet, believe it or not. Goofy. Yeah, she's a gem, man.
Yeah, so my wife will come to stuff, but like my daughter begrudgingly comes. Like she was at the leadership thing today.
I saw her head on the table. She was
dying.
Now, if Skylar would have done that, I would have been like, "Hey,
I did
several
times.
Can you just
multiple?
Can you at
to
least keep your head straight up?"
I mean, gosh, it's so
asking
hard.
so much, right?
Maddie Camp. I'm not going to say her name though, but yes, and so she's going to a concert.
Okay.
This coming week.
To see who?
I don't know, some Zach dude that everybody likes. He's a very sleepy country singer guy.
No thanks.
And everybody right now is hating on me. They're going to send some hate mail.
Is your
He's
wife
very popular.
Is Alicia, your wife, going?
Yeah. So it's her and like one of Maddie's friends. It's in Little Rock. So
that's a hike.
Yeah, I'm driving them. I'm not. So any big city stuff.
Are you staying a night?
We're staying one night, coming back. Yeah. But here's what's fascinating, and so that's why I went down this road. What is it with you women's out there? Can you answer this question for real?
Uh-oh.
Why does everything that you do require a new outfit? You got to get some bronze tanner stuff going. There's got to be nails, and then there's hair. You're going to listen to a dude try to sing that's not really going to be hearing that. If you're not close enough, you're going to hear all the drunk people next to you screaming the lyrics at the top of their lungs. Out of key. And you're so far back, they're not going to see you unless you're on the front row. They're not going to be like, oh, I'm in love with that person on the 9,000th row up there.
But there's so many people that will be looking at you, so you want to look pretty, right?
I just don't get why everybody has to. I mean, not say everybody, but it's like they go to any kind of concert, they have to have a full new ensemble. Yeah. I don't get that. I go to a baseball game. I don't need I will wear the same outfit to 5 baseball games in the same year.
Yeah.
Can you explain it?
No, because my daughter is not girly.
Yeah.
And yours is. I'll just say, I'm not trying to be insulting.
No, it is. She's very girly.
She's
very maintenance.
Yeah.
Very maintenance.
Yeah, mine's a baggy hoodie, pair of pants.
Simple. Yeah. I would even say that my son was bougie growing up. He was a metrosexual.
Really?
He really had to be.
Did you say that? Bougie?
Bougie.
I
think
love
that's
that
a word.
word.
Yeah, I think that's one of those.
Or bougie.
Bougie?
Bougie.
Yeah, so French. Yeah, there it is. I knew we were going to get there. So it came all the way back around.
Hey, bougie.
It's a circle back. Yeah, so he was definitely very maintenanced, and like his hat, and he would always that. He would do this thing for the corners, and then everything had to be pristine.
Really? Yeah,
not me.
Not me either. I stained every shirt I ever owned.
Low key dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever is on the clearance rack when I'm walking through, I'm like, that seems to be good enough. Let's go.
That's what I grew up on.
So it's pretty simple.
Hey, do you remember a sneaker line called Voigt's? Voigt?
Stephen Voigt?
I don't know.
I think he was an actor.
Growing up, my mom used to get me, I mean, at the time, they were probably $10 sneakers. We say sneakers up north.
It's all right.
Tennis shoes down here.
We call them just Jordans.
These were definitely not Jordans, but they were plastic soles glued onto the shoe. And never failed, man. Like, they'd be my brand new shoes for the school year, and the heels would start ripping out.
You got to blow out.
And I would be walking down the hall, flip.
Turned into flip-flops.
And then my mom wouldn't get me new shoes. I was a bum. Anyway, so I had no choice but to be grubby.
Did you just do some duct tape?
No.
In Mississippi, they would.
I just flapped.
Yeah, Mississippi, everything's duct tape. Duct tape awesome. Duct tape awesome. That's why we do it.
Does anyone say sneakers down here?
No.
That's not a thing down here.
Nobody talks about sneakers.
No.
They sneaker into something. But sometimes sneaker into something.
But I don't get tennis shoe. Not all. I wear Chuck Taylors. They are not tennis shoes. You do not wear these to play tennis.
No, that's true.
Where did that? Oh, another one is ink pen.
Oh, what do you call it?
Pen.
Oh, you just go straight there.
And I figured it out one night.
Yeah.
So it was a party, grill is going, and someone yelled, hey, could someone get me a pan?
Mm.
And my smart ass friend that isn't from the South came out with a pen.
Yeah.
But the guy wanted a pan.
A pan.
So
pen.
Did y'all start saying ink pen because the way you pronounced pen was just like pan, so it was confusing? Or do you guys just really specific in explaining what it is that you're using? An ink pen.
I just say, can I have a proper writing utensil?
Ink pen.
Yeah, I don't know. I've really never paid much attention to some things until it's pointed out, which is funny.
Well, if you went up north, you'd be like, dude, what is that? Why are they saying that? Why does everyone say wicked?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening there. I went to that show, actually. It was in Memphis recently.
Yeah, I heard, it's like every person I knew or know went. I didn't even know what it was.
It's because you thought somebody was just saying, man, that's wicked.
But I am taking Skylar to see Shrek. I say I. My wonderful and beautiful girlfriend, LaShawn, is taking us to see Shrek.
Where's that at? Is it Orpheum?
Orpheum.
How about that?
And what's great about it is my daughter is in high school theater crew.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She's not on stage. She doesn't want to do that, but she loves being on the crew.
Yeah.
You're learning how to move the props, that they're integral in moving the stuff and building, and she loves it. And the spring show for the high school theater was Shrek.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
So then we found out that the touring act is coming through Orpheum or through Memphis. And I was like, Skylar, you want to go? She's like, yeah.
Have y'all been to Playhouse on the Square?
Yes, once.
And
it was Willy Wonka Chocolate Factory. And I'll tell you this, Coach.
Yeah, talk to me.
The high school can rival that place.
Oh, I'm sure.
Our high school is so good.
I've heard nothing but great things.
I've been blown away, and the Shrek one was even next level. It was a 2.5 hour show. There's an intermission in there.
Yeah.
These kids were on top of their lines, the amazing singing, the choreography, the big ensembles, the huge props, and everything. And it was like, these are 15 to 18-year-old kids.
Yeah.
14-year-old kids. Crazy.
It's next level. Did I ever tell you that I was in 3 high school plays? I was in 3.
Okay.
You had Friends, which was an initial one.
Were you one of the friends?
I was one of the, but not like the TV show.
Oh.
This is just this is like a play. And then you had Friends at Christmas. Yeah, I know. Exactly. If I would have been on there, though, I'd like to think I'd have been Joey.
You would have been Joey.
I feel like that's
or Ross.
I would have been cast as
no, Joey.
Definitely Joey. I think it's probably my style. But no, it was and then they did Friends at Christmas, which you should never do a sequel to anything.
No, I'm sorry. I'm going to derail you. No,
DD.
You're Chandler. You know why?
Why?
Chandler was full of quips.
Oh, I'll take that.
He was the quip master.
Quipster.
Chandler.
Yeah,
anyways,
I'll take it. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
But then my last one was Godspell. And that was like the big one. That's pretty well known. I don't know if you know that. Do you know about Godspell?
Never heard of it.
You should look at it.
I know God spells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't spell for nothing. But Godspell was and then I went to Playhouse on the Square.
Mm-hmm.
But, just relating to the difference in drama theater, when I was in high school, it was like on the floor in the band hall, and we had to build all of our own props.
Yeah.
It's a little better now.
Yes.
Things have changed in the last 30 years.
And they know how to recycle and reuse props to certain degrees. And then we also have Kudzu Playhouse.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Which is more of a county-wide thing. And they all share and they all work with each other. But it's pretty intense. I will say, I'm going to pick on, and I know it's high school, and I know the kids are part of this and running it, but we need to work on the audio side of things at the HPAC, which is the theater in Hernando. And no better example of the annual cabaret that the choir puts on. That's the big hoorah, the big finale for the choir school program.
Mm-hmm.
They do what's called cabaret, where it's all the different high school groups, and they invite, I think, 8th graders. And it's not theater in the sense of acting, but there's acts. So you have an ensemble of one of the groups, and they're not singing like the choir music.
That would be beautiful.
They're singing.
They sounded like that.
They're singing something contemporary, a Beach Boys song, and maybe the theme is beachwear, and you got surfboards up there, and they sing a Beach Boys song with a dance choreography, and then boop, it goes to a solo, and then another act, and that's what it is. And some of these poor kids would go up, and the mic would cut out or be off completely, and it was just janky in a way. And I know the kids back there running it, but me being me, is in music and all this stuff, I'm like, come on, let's go. But
my wife would have been like,
that's a problem.
God, the mic went
Yeah.
off.
Sometimes the volume's
If it
not
was me.
well enough, so the singing sounds muffled.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that they need to work on. But I'm telling you, everything else is just
Oh, their performance and stuff is great.
it's great.
Yeah, Hey, look, there's always going to
Yeah.
be a glitch somewhere. You can't have the bar too high.
And great for the kids. I mean, the fact that they get to do that. I know what it's done for Skylar. Choir too, but then this theater crew fell into her lap, and she loves it. She makes new friends, new friend group. It's teaching her. I love when I pick her up from rehearsal and she's mad.
Oh, why is she mad?
Oh,
Maybe she's acting.
we keep screwing up, and this person missed the dot, and then I tripped over a rock, and I don't know if we're going to be ready. But I love that she's concerned and
passionate
about being good. I love that.
She'd have been really mad all the time because I was jacking up lines. And I just owned it, and I had fun with it. So it was like good because I couldn't remember anything. My performance level was always on point, but my memory was not always there.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it.
I would just come up with stuff. I would just be like, I don't know, this seems like what I should be saying. So I'm going with this line. Now what? I stole your line. Now who's going to say what? So one last thing that I want to think about before we get out of here, because I know, look, as we live our lives, we go through seasons, we go through moments, phases that you didn't see coming.
Yeah.
Maybe they've always been around you. You just didn't pay as much attention. But something has come to the forefront of my noticing. And that is how comfortable elderly people are talking about farting and crapping. What is happening?
Not all elderly are doing that, Coach.
No, but they're very comfortable about discussing this on a daily basis.
Come to my house.
Oh.
Come to a Micho family reunion.
Oh, that's happening over there.
Not only are we joking about that stuff, but you're going to hear and smell it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so it's just interesting that now that I'm older,
you see those things.
Some of the older people that I have been around and associate to, and it's people in the family that are in their 70s to 80s.
Yeah.
That is a daily topic.
Because here's why. Here's a reason.
I need to know.
At this point in their life, they don't give an S.
Oh, yeah.
What? I don't care. I'm going to say what I want. That's why you get really grumpy old men, loud, sometimes belligerent, or overly generous on the other side. It seems like sometimes they go to the extremes because at the end of the day, they're like, F you.
Yeah.
I'm going to be me.
Yeah. So
I got 10 years left.
What are we going to do?
5 years left.
What are you going to say about it?
Yeah. And I'm not doing that. Or no, you're not doing this, and they'll get an argument at Walmart. No.
I figure it makes it easier in case that happens in their pants. They're just like, well, we were already talking about it.
Then you get diapers.
Well, I mean, you got to do that. Yeah. Absolutely. So I don't know. Did I ever share the story with you when I met Jace Robertson? Have I already talked about that on the show?
I don't know, man.
We've had so many shows.
There's so many. You and I have talked so much about so many different things.
I hate repeating stories, but if I did, it just fits into this.
Go for it.
Because in the end.
Hey, we had like 3 episodes in a row where we talked about camping.
Oh, was it that?
And I kept hearing myself say the same stupid story over and over. So we're good. So what's the story?
All right, so I'm going to stay in the woods on this one then. Basically,
Is that a quip?
I don't, maybe.
Okay.
I have to listen back to it. Jace Robertson, you know who this guy is?
No.
Duck Dynasty.
Okay.
TV show.
The main son?
He's one of them. Like the main one, I think is, well, I'll say main one. The one that's the forefront is Willie. He runs the show.
But that's the older one. That's the dad, right?
Well, the dad is Phil. That's all right. We're going through the list. We're getting the list done. So yeah, and none of them have Micho in it. But it's so Jace is he's like the sarcastic styled brother that is always, stirring up some stuff, coming up with ideas. He came to Hernando last year.
Okay.
And so I knew I was going to get to meet him.
That's right. I
remember
meeting.
The pictures and stuff.
You mentioned the podcast to him too, right?
I invited him on.
Yes.
So as I'm in the line to go meet him, and I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to say to Jace Robertson? And the first thing that comes to mind is because, obviously what we just talked about with the elderly people, that's a very common thing. I wanted to kind of get an idea about what did they talk about on their podcast. So I listened to their podcast.
Okay.
Several of them. And I come across one where Jace is talking about them going into like a truck stop, and there's a person in a stall, and it sounds like that person is struggling. There's a lot of things happening in there.
Yeah.
And it gets to a point where the people that had come in are concerned.
Yeah.
And then when he comes out, they applaud because they're like, he survived. We didn't know if he was going to make it out of there. So when he comes out, I guess it was like standing room only. So people tried to go back into that stall to use the restroom, and nobody could make it in. He's like, nobody could enter that stall. Many tried.
Oof.
None were successful. So it was apparently a very traumatizing moment. So much so they spoke on it on the podcast for a hot minute. So when I come across it, I'm thinking, that's it. That's because I want to be memorable. I don't want to go up and say the same old things to Jace that everybody else may have been saying.
Okay.
I wanted to stand out because I knew in my thoughts, I'm going to try to get him to come on the show, motivate Coach Camp. So I needed him to remember me. So when I think about it, I'm like, all right, I know what I'm going to say. So when I walk up to him and I shake his hand, I do that awkward pause for a minute where I'm staring at you. And he probably doesn't know what's about to happen. He's like, is this guy starstruck? And I'm just sitting there. I'm making sure he zones in. And I said, I just want you to know something, Mr. Robertson. You've flared up a piece of PTSD within me. And now he's intrigued. And he's like, okay. And I said, you know your podcast where you spoke of the stall that no man could enter? I know that stall. I've been to that stall.
Did he catch it?
And it took a pause, and then everybody in the room, and because there's like, I don't know, 20 people because they got cameras and stuff in there. So he starts laughing, right? And that spawned the next piece of the conversation. So then, because now we've opened this conversation piece up, he goes into another story that has bathroom catastrophe written into it. So he tells another story that's even, longer. And when he's done, we're laughing, and I give him my card, and I invite him to come on the show. And he says, I'll think about it, which is code for you're not going to hear from me again, especially after this conversation. So I'm thinking to myself, how do I wrap this conversation up? And so we're shaking hands, and I was like, I looking forward to seeing your new episodes, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I got to be honest with you. When I get home, my wife is going to ask me, so what did you talk to Jace Robertson about? And I'm going to have to be honest and let her know it was a pretty crappy conversation.
Oh, I'm in the wrong bank. Oh,
it's all right. Timing's everything. Don't worry about that.
Well, no, it's
I know.
My screen. I had our outro music ready.
Yeah. So it's funny because when I said that,
I botched that.
He started laughing, and I hear him saying as I'm walking out, that was really funny.
Yeah. So I mean, he's so used to, hey, starstruck,
probably
a little. Oh my God, I'm such a big fan. Thank you. You're so great, and it's nice. It's pleasantries, but it's not the same. You roll up with context of like, hey, I actually listened, and I'm going to reference this episode, and I'm sure that made him happy.
I would imagine he told that story to someone else.
So, can we wrap up with my traumatic story?
I cannot wait.
Never in my life have I come this close from pooping my pants.
Oh, wow. Was it the day you met me?
No, but I had to rush to the bathroom. It was around the corner.
It makes you nauseous.
So I'm hanging out with my buddy Jeff Ward, drummer, friend, co-host of the Rhythm Section podcast, a Memphis music podcast. But we're randomly just having lunch at a Mexican restaurant in Horn Lake. It will remain nameless. It is a good place. I like it. But something hit me this day.
Mexican.
But it doesn't normally do this level.
All right, fair enough.
So I start heading south on 51 because I'm heading to Hernando, right? And I said, screw Goodman. Thank God. Well, anyways. So the next main road is Church, right? And halfway between Goodman and Church,
things start to happen.
It hits me like a freight train. I'm like, oh no. And I'm like, it's okay. Just get home. Some people will not go doo-doo in a public restroom or none of it. They don't have it. I'm okay with it.
Sure. Very comfortable.
Just wipe the seat down, whatever. I'll shower later.
You can hover.
But I'm like, I'll try to make it home.
Yeah.
Dude. By the time I hit that intersection of Church and 51, that map go?
Yeah.
Right there. As you're heading south, right there on the left.
You were mapping things out.
I'm like, I got to go. Got to go. I can barely get out of the car and walk because the slightest bit of aggression, what am I saying? Like,
you had to choppy step.
Yeah. If I would have accidentally tripped over the curb.
You got to take it slow.
And I am doing the holding my poop walk through the store. I'm like, I can't breathe. I'm panicking. I'm starting to sweat. I'm panicking.
Right.
And I finally get into the bathroom, and there's one urinal and one stall.
There's a sink.
And thank God the stall was available.
Oh, fair enough.
And I did my thing. And dude, if someone would have been in that stall,
The sink.
or the urinal, or my pants,
Oh.
like there was no
There's a garbage can probably.
There was no chance.
Yeah.
No chance. I'm turning around and going back to my car to go to the next place. Nope, I'm pooping myself.
Were you on Church Road?
Yeah, Church in 51.
It's a good place to start praying.
My sounds aren't ready for it.
It's all right.
But it was traumatizing because of the panic.
Yeah.
I was feeling that. I mean, I'd never felt that way. I've never felt that so badly before. Where I'm like, if I'm not careful, I'm gonna poo-poo my pants in the middle of the Mapco gas station on Church and 51.
So what I'm hearing is, without the soundboard being ready, is it would have been the
Yeah. No, if I would have had my iPad, it would have been da da da.
Mo better. See, we can do these sounds with our mouths.
And then I want to, as I'm ramping up for my next season of the rhythm section, which is where we really play a lot of these sounds, I'm going to add like a car explosion, record scratch. You know,
I hear that a lot when I'm talking. Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, now that we're talking to poop.
Cannonball! Do it!
Hey, do you remember that scene in Caddyshack?
Which one? There was a lot.
The first one. The classic,
Where
the original. with
Bill
Chevy
Murray's
Chase.
talking and he's hitting the golf ball?
Right.
Okay.
Do you remember what they find in the pool?
Baby Ruth.
Yeah, and what do they think it is?
Poop.
Yes. I mean, see how it ties in? Cannonball in the pool.
Bam.
Floating poo-poo. People
Bill
run
Murray.
away. They empty the... Yeah, it's
I like
amazing.
it.
But
Hey, man, this is always fun. We should do this again.
Sorry for the crappy episode.
Oh, it is pretty crappy. It smells right, though.
I wish I had my sounds.
I don't know what's happening. I got sounds.
Let's see something.
Just go to the Mexican
59 minutes. Look at
restaurant.
that.
On point. We on point.
All right, motivatewithcoachcam.com.
SRP Studios with Mr. Derrick Micho.
Thanks for watching.
Let's
Thanks
go.
for listening.
Let's go.
Have a great day. Bye.
Woo.